Welcome back to the library, dear wanderers. Today we're going to head back to Library Wing 1, back to the Hidden Nest, where we'll pick up the first work we see. This one was brought to the library by Malvaric 1. Now without further ado, Snakes in Debt. The following page appears to be a document taken right off the High Archivist's desk. To the High Archivist. As you know, on the 25th cycle of the Harvest Moon in the year 2021, the library came under attack by assailants belonging to the Bookburner faction. The majority of this skirmish took place in the southwestern district, and most unfortunately within our esteemed marketplace. Fortune Square has stood for nearly a millennia as the de facto location to sell one's wares within the library. I, Ral Cindertide, have served faithfully as its manager for over half of this period. Never in my time as manager of Fortune Square have I seen such plain disregard for the well-being of our staff and customers as I did during the course of this battle against the Bookburners. Let me be clear, High Archivist. I am well aware that the trio of gunslingers in your service played a vital role in defeating the Bookburner invasion and closing their opening into the library. However, during the course of said invasion, when the fighting had reached Fortune Square, these three utilized a variety of important goods, most of which, might I add, were being eyed by prospective buyers. Below I have listed all merchandise either destroyed, rendered inoperable, or damaged by these supposed heroes of the library. As someone who was present at the Battle of Fortune Square, I can attest to the descriptions of each item's usage as being correct and without fault. Item number 4256. Harlow's Staff of Disintegration. Status: destroyed. Projected market value: 200,000 gold coins. This was one of the first pieces of our Magical Tools series, utilized by the gunslingers. Specifically by the red-haired ruffian that followed after the older gentleman. It was used, as intended, to launch a series of guided fireballs at the enemy. However, the item is meant to be used sparingly and given a cooldown period of 5 minutes between casts. The gunslinger in question did not heed this instruction despite it being clearly labeled on the staff, leading to the item quickly overheating and exploding. Item number 4444. Zarn's Ethereal Dagger. Status: missing. Projected market value: 350,000 gold coins. The second item used by the gunslingers, specifically the red-haired gentleman once again, Zarn's Ethereal Dagger is or was an item of great importance to our collection that we took great pains in finding. Its ability enables it to displace whomever is stabbed, resulting in the enemy being transported to a random dimension or reality. However, the user needs to remain in contact with the dagger, otherwise it will be taken along with the opponent. The younger gunslinger threw the knife, lodging it into a mech unit of the Bookburners. This caused the unit to disappear, but also resulted in the loss of an artifact of great importance. Item number 35669. Grom's Atomic Cannon. Status: depleted. Projected market value: 1 million gold coins. The third item used by the gunslingers, this time by the oldest gentleman, who I recall being called Guildhell Mr. Guildhill, cornered by a trio of bookburners, grabbed Grom's atomic cannon and proceeded to open fire. Now, for those without a keen eye for rare goods, they would no doubt see this weapon as an ordinary atomic rifle. However, this was the only known weapon in existence to utilize a rare mineral known as crotium. From some preliminary tests we performed, our workers judged it to only have a few volleys left before becoming entirely depleted. Once its fuel was gone, so too was any chance of discovering the process behind utilizing crotium in future weaponry. Note, I'm willing to shave off 20,000 gold in light of Mr. Guildhell using said weapon to save my life. However, in doing so, he ruined one of my favorite coats, therefore shall incur another 10,000 gold coins in damages. Item number 7677, Sword of Intelligence, status depressed, projected market value 500,000 gold coins. The fourth item used by the gunslingers in their bloody escapade through Fortune Square. This sword was imbued by the late arc wizard Martath with a magic that granted it sapience. Previously, before the gunslinger known as Marlowe got his hands on it, the sword had a rambunctious but positive attitude and was eagerly awaiting a buyer to purchase it. However, this attitude has now been replaced with one of gloom and melancholy. The gunslinger wielded the Sword of Intelligence and carved a path through the bookburners, giving his companions an opening. In doing so, he revealed to the sword its true purpose as a tool of war, and since then it has developed quite the negative attitude. As such, prospective buyers have plummeted significantly, and chances of the weapon being bought are extremely slim. Item number 8799, Gem of Desire, status obliterated, projected market value 2 million gold coins. The fifth item used by the gunslingers and second item used by the individual by the name of Marlowe. The Gem of Desire's original purpose was to grant the user untold magical powers so long as such power was used in pursuit of something they greatly desired. The purpose it was actually used for was much more barbaric and downright deplorable. The gunslinger threw the gem at whom I presume was the commanding officer of the book burners and shot it mid-flight, detonating all the pent-up magical energy held within. The ensuing explosion erased the existence of the bookburner commander and his squad of soldiers, but also destroyed 2 stalls full of goods waiting to be examined. Note, I will be adding an additional 20,000 gold coins to the list, as many of the goods in said stalls showed promise as future products. Item number 9562, Messenger Pigeons, status damaged, projected market value 400,000 gold coins. The sixth item used by the gunslingers, specifically by the red-haired ruffian as mentioned in earlier documentation, the messenger pigeons are a series of mechanical contraptions devised by the great inventor Henry Buchanan. They take the form of regular pigeons and are capable of a variety of features not limited to active camouflage, speeds exceeding 100 miles per hour, and voice recognition. Yet again, we saw the gunslingers use an item not in its intended capacity, as the red-haired delinquent proceeded to attach a grenade to it before instructing it to deliver this message to those fuckheads over there. The pigeon, unaware of the cargo it was carrying, flew into the center of the bookburner platoon and was caught up in the ensuing explosion. Luckily, Mr. Buchanan designed his messenger pigeons to be highly resistant to explosives, and damage to the item was minimal. However, its flight module was damaged, and as such, is nearly useless for those seeking to use it for its intended purpose. Item number 15,677. Arc Wizard's Ermin's Vacation Snow Globe. Status destroyed. Projected market value 180,000 gold coins. For the sake of brevity, this will be the last item listed on this specific document. The item in question was a snow globe designed by Arc Wizard Ermin that was capable of taking the users into an Arctic pocket dimension held within. He had originally designed it to be able to go on small mini vacations to a frozen tundra without any risks of such an escapade. The gunslinger Guildhell utilized it to trap a division of book burner flame troopers and proceeded to stomp on the snow globe, destroying the pocket dimension. In my personal opinion, it goes without saying that such a brutish action was completely unnecessary and only led to the destruction of an artifact highly prized for its unique and desirable features. What I have listed today is only a small fraction of the goods damaged or outright destroyed by this trio of rowdy gunslingers. Again, I fully understand their importance in saving the library from the book burner threat and their significance in sealing the opening the enemy had created. Still, Fortune Square cannot run on good feelings and well wishes alone. Whether it is the library or these individuals that pay for the damages incurred is of little significance, so long as the amount is paid in full upfront or through installments. Below, I've attached the estimated full amount and subtracted what I believe to be a good sum in exchange for their part in aiding the library. I'd also like to request a meeting with the library's officials at your earliest convenience so that we may discuss prices. Best regards, Ral Cindertide, manager of Fortune Square. Estimation of damages incurred in Fortune Square. 7,666,000 gold coins. Discount for efforts in repelling the book burner threat, 300,000 gold coins. Total amount, 7,360,000. You do not mess with business people, because they have fees for everything. I don't like fees. Either way, though, we'll now move on to the next work, brought to us by, again, Malavark 1. Diamondback profile number 005, Levi Phoenix Sykes. Name, Levi Sykes. Age, 26 in the current body. Date of birth, January 5th, 1850. Aliases, the Phoenix, the Undying, the 5th. Status, awaiting deployment. Acolytes. Battle of Queen's Harbor. One of the first recorded battles that Levi Sykes took part in as part of the Diamondbacks. Queen's Harbor, a temporary base of operations for the Diamondbacks, found itself under siege by a sect of the devout. Sykes was able to reach the enemy commander and eliminate him at the cost of his left arm and leg. Siege of Meyerworth. Meyerworth, a key foothold in the kingdom of Leridil, was under siege for 2 years until Sykes' arrival with 3 other Diamondbacks. Under their instruction, the army was able to open the portcullis from the inside after traveling unseen through Meyerworth's sewers. The taking of Meyerworth would ultimately lead to a shortage of supplies for Leridil and, eventually, their defeat. Guildhell's Last Stand. Guildhell, who once held the seat of second in the Diamondbacks, sided with our enemy who shall not be named. Over the course of his 2-year rebellion, he lost nearly all support from his allies, and his numbers dwindled to a handful of soldiers. Sykes led the charge on Jericho Hill, which would ultimately lead to Guildhell's capture and subsequent execution. Battle of Marne Forest. Marne Forest, located within the far northern reaches of the library, came under attack by book burners from various realities that had banded together. Sykes, along with the rest of the original Diamondbacks, assisted in defending the library and stopping the encroachment of book burner forces. In order to cease the flow of enemy forces, Sykes was forced to detonate a magical explosive without the use of a detonator. The resulting blast immediately killed Sykes, but dealt a crushing blow to the book burner invasion. It would be 7 years later that the Diamondbacks found his next reincarnation. Lankford Hollow Bloodbath. The Diamondbacks, while part of King Harlow's retinue, were ambushed en route to a neighboring kingdom. Outnumbered 20 to 1, King Harlow proposed they surrender in hopes of keeping their lives. However, Sykes would instead offer an alternative means of survival that included using the natural caverns under Lankford Hollow to circumvent the enemy and escape. Leaving a small force behind to act as decoys, King Harlow and the Diamondbacks returned with reinforcements and swiftly crushed the enemy. Nollows and Decline Incident. 2 thieves, now identified as Nollows and Decline, escaped the library with forbidden texts they intended on selling to the jailers or next highest bidders. After 5 days of tracking them through several different realities, Sykes and his partner Howell were able to corner the pair in an abandoned factory. The ensuing gunfight lasted 2 days, during which Sykes took a bullet intended for Howell. The incident was resolved when the thieves attempted to utilize the forbidden texts, resulting in the cessation of their existence. Biography. Levi Sykes was born in Dripping Springs, Texas, to Thomas Sykes and his wife Haley in the year 1850. His father, who was devoted to the Confederate cause and willingly signed up, was killed in action shortly after the secession of Texas. He and his mother made a living thereafter, doing odd jobs until he reached the age of 16, upon which he fell ill and passed away. With no other living relatives, Sykes was forced to provide for himself and eventually join a local gang by the name of the Kelly's Rangers. He proved himself to be an excellent gunman and quickly rose in the ranks, eventually becoming Sarah Kelly's right-hand man. However, Sykes' involvement in Kelly's Rangers would come to an end in the year 1873, after the accidental stumbling upon a skirmish between Diamondbacks and the Bookburners in possession of the Tome of Sarkoville. All of the Kelly's Rangers, save Sykes, were killed when the Bookburners invoked one of the forbidden spells held within the tome and scorched the area. Felix Guildhell, who at the time held the rank of second in the Diamondbacks, recruited Sykes after a shard of the Creator on his person reacted to his presence. For the next 3 years, Sykes underwent training in the magical and divine arts under the tutelage of Guildhell. Upon reaching his 25th year of age, Sykes was unofficially inducted into the Diamondbacks and became the 5th. Sykes passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 67 and was interred at a specially made tomb in Marne Forest. The title of 5th was retired in honor of his many years of service not long after. However, this would prove to be very temporary, as only 2 years later, Diamondback agents would come into contact with a young woman, whom Vam, Sykes' partner chart, reacted to. Nearly immediately after, she claimed to be Levi Sykes, and that she'd suddenly regained all of her memories in her time with the Diamondbacks. Since then, Sykes has perished in the line of duty over 29 times, and successfully reincarnated each time. Partner chart. Vam. compatibility assessment. Over Sykes' tenure as a Diamondback, their compatibility has proven to be excellent. While Sykes did experience the sickness, all Diamondbacks have, upon making their contract with a shard, there have been no recorded issues between the two since. Weapon ability. Sykes became able to utilize a form of short-range teleportation for a short interval of time. Overuse of this ability can lead to fatigue, delirium, and eventually unconsciousness. I always love reading about things in connection to the book burners and the Diamondbacks. I know we've had one or two stories about them before. I think we might have actually had the incident in question that was, I think, Nolos and Declane? I'm not entirely sure, though. Either way, thank you very much for coming. Dear Wanderers, it has been an honor rooting for you. Good luck out there, and I hope to see you all next time.